Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Keisha. Hey, and my channel is all about fashion, beauty, lifestyle, nursing, and anything that I choose to put on here. So as you know, I started this series as it relates to hemodialysis and all things surrounding that as a nurse. Okay, so today I am just going to briefly explain about what are the kidneys and just 7 roles of the kidneys. All right, like I said, it's going to be very quick, informative, and I do not want to still I want to make sure that with the information that I'm giving, it's quite clear and comprehensive that anyone listening to this can understand. So first of all, we know that we have most people born with 2 kidneys, and I will say that we do have 2 kidneys, okay? And with everything, there's an anatomy. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, why not subscribe? Let me know where you're joining from, and don't forget to get interactive. Leave whatever questions as it relates to this topic that I'm speaking about in the comment section, and we can have a discussion about it. All right, so I started to say that most of us were born with 2 kidneys. All right, if for some reason we were born with 1, okay, so be it. But our 2 kidneys, which are bean shaped, and they are located within or just below within our rib cage, just behind our stomach. And for each individual, male and female, the weight of the kidneys are different, okay? And again, I do not want to go into the technical aspect of that, but just for reference, obviously there are information that you can read to get those specific information, but just to know that within the male, the kidneys are more heavier than within the females. The female kidneys are more smaller than the male kidneys. And the kidneys, they make up part of our urinary system, okay? The kidneys make a part of our urinary system. So here we have the kidneys, and then we have 2 tubes that runs down, which are called the urethra. And then within that, and sitting on top of the kidneys, we have the adrenal gland. And so we have the adrenal gland just sitting on top of our kidneys, and then we have those 2 tubes that runs from the bottom of the kidneys to go into the bladder. So the bladder is basically the reservoir with all of the filtration, all of the fluids that is excreted by the kidneys goes into that bladder, which is the reservoir. It collects, it holds, and then it passes through that urethra, that little hole where, let's say if you have to put a catheter, you would have to insert the catheter through the urethra. All right, the urethra, okay? And then it passes out of our body into the toilet. All right, so that's just basically it. And obviously, if you cut open the kidney and you want to see all of the different structure, whether you have the medulla, you have the glomerular, the nephrons, all of these things within the kidney, if you're doing the physiology of the kidney. But I'm not here to do all of that. I am just more focused on all things hemodialysis, renal, the pros, the cons, all of the things as it relates to having a healthy kidney for persons who are living on hemodialysis. That is basically my role. All right, so we know that we have our kidneys, and guys, like I said, a lot of the things there are things that I would remember offhand, and there are things obviously I will make notes because I don't want to stray from the topic. So basically, I'm also talking about the 7 functions. There are multiple functions of our kidneys, but I'm just going to talk briefly about the 7 functions of our kidneys. All right, so we know number 1, It removes waste product from the body, the metabolic waste. So everything that we eat, once we eat it, it goes through within our bloods, as nutrients, and the excess is because of the byproduct. It is passed out. The kidneys are responsible for the regulation of metabolic waste, where it will be excreted, whether as creatinine, the byproduct of, let's say, if we eat chicken, fish, and all of that, the excess will be passed out, will be broken down through our kidneys, passed out as waste. You have urea, and which is one of the main things which our kidneys are responsible for, where the byproduct is concerned. Right? It regulates water balance, so obviously the excess water will be excreted as urine or as pee. And yeah, so one of the things a lot of us know that we always encourages persons to drink fluids, but again, we don't want to drink too much because there's something which is called water toxicity, also dehydration. So if you drink too much water, it's bad. If you drink too little water, it's bad. With everything, you have to drink within moderation. All right, so regulation of water. Also, the kidneys are responsible for the regulation of extracellular water volume, extracellular electrolytes. Also, it's responsible for regulation of our blood pressure. So let's say if our blood pressure increases, there are specific hormones that our kidneys will release to help to regulate our blood pressure. If our blood pressure decreases, the same thing goes. It triggers that response to help to increase or help to decrease our blood pressure. And sometimes when our kidneys are not functioning well, because the kidneys, the heart, everything are interconnected. So sometimes with long-term effects of our kidneys, especially if you have let's say renal failure, the kidneys are not functioning well. Hence the reason why a lot of times you have to be put or placed on medications that will help you to keep your blood pressure under control, if that makes sense. Because there is a mechanism within our kidneys. If our blood pressure tends to increase, our natural response of our body by the brain through the kidneys for it to release a specific hormone that is going to help to regulate the blood pressure. All right, so when our kidneys are not functioning well, we tend to have high blood pressure. Okay. Also, it helps to regulate the formation of red blood cells. Yes, so our kidneys are responsible to help to regulate red blood cells. So guess what? If you have overproduction of red blood cells, it is not good. Your blood becomes a little bit more thicker, and then if you have, let's say, if the kidneys are not functioning well, you would have underproduction of red blood cells. So for persons who are on dialysis, who are having hemodialysis, usually there are things that we look for when it comes to when the patient has to have, like, let's say, monthly bloods. We look at the patient, the HB. We also there's something we call the ferritin levels in the blood, the iron levels in the blood, and sometimes depending on the levels, again, there are specific mark range where that should be within. And let's say if it's within a certain range, the patient tends to have like 3 times a week or once a week or twice a week injections, which are like the erythropoietin, or we shorten it as EPO, an EPO injection, which is erythropoietin injection. So this helps to stimulate, to help to increase the production of red blood cells. Okay, guys? So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, guys, I tell you, this series will be so informative, I kid you not. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section. We can have a discussion. I will respond. And this is how I'm going to be for the next few weeks. imparting some of my knowledge as it relates to hemodialysis, patients who are living on hemodialysis, and all things hemodialysis, because I see that there's a need for it here on YouTube, and I'm doing just that. So let me know if I'm doing a great job explaining all these things. And the last function that I just want to talk about is keeping bone healthy with the vitamin D system. All right, again, I will not be going into the complexities of all these functions. I am just trying to make the information a bit more relatable. And for instance, for any one of you who are obviously want to venture in to hemodialysis or become a hemodialysis nurse or renal nurse, that is, obviously you would have your references where you will be able to read and get all the information, the understanding. But I'm just here to touch the basic, skim the basic through my knowledge and my experience. So guys, those are 7 functions of the renal system, and just highlighting the kidneys on a whole, the different parts of the kidneys. So guys, if this video was of help to you, give me a big thumbs up. Let me know how I'm doing, and don't forget to get interactive, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, so whenever I upload a video, you will be first to be notified. So thank you again for rocking with me, and look forward to sharing another video, all things hemodialysis.